Let's do this.
Welcome back. Hello, family. How's everybody doing? Sorry, I had some StreamYard connection problems. Got everything loaded up, but StreamYard was just being a real pain in the neck. So finally got through. Here I am. Thank you for your concern. Just think about it. Yes, everything is okay. So we're going to start off right off the bat. Meatwad number one. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and good night. Wrapping up a full day of comics. There you go. Robert Monroe, good evening, Rich, and my fellow coconuts. Think about saying that thanks for hosting the coconut meetup. Guys, I'm really sorry that just like kind of crashed at the end there. We've been using the Zoom free version, which gives you 30 minutes, but it doesn't give you like, 10, 9, 8. It's just like, hey, in 10 minutes, it's going to end. And then you don't see anything else until it just cuts you off in mid-sentence. I don't know if I want to pay for the monthly subscription to Zoom. I'd rather do it through StreamYard so I could upgrade other services at the same time. I just would need Greg to get back to me because it's actually still listed as him being the owner, so I can't access the plans. I'll contact him again more about that later. Yes, it was great hanging out with you guys. Like I said, I wish it could have been longer. Yes, everything is okay. And 25 Perez, hi everyone. Hi to you, and thank you for joining. So we're here to look at the top 20 hot books as reported by CovrPrice for today, the 29th of April, 2024. Wow, May's coming up real quick. I just loaded this up. I saw some of the books as I was clicking on them, but I did not see why they were hot. There's a couple of new entries here and a couple of very, what do you call it? Perennial favorites, as you might say. So let's get the screen shared up here. And should I wait for Larry or just immediately get into Dazzler? Coming in number 20. We have the first appearance of Dazzler, first full appearance of Sebastian Shaw, and the second appearance of Kitty Pryde and Emma Frost in X-Men number 130. They're showing the direct sale, which at that time did have the barcode, but it has that line through it to make it unscannable. Okay, we have angry straight white male. There he is. All right, so we have, let's see, prices. $1,536 for a 9.8. I'm spending that kind of money on a 9.8 of 129 first appearance of Kitty Pryde and Emma Frost, in my opinion. I don't think Dazzler, even if she's in the movie, I don't think that this book has any legs. $525 for a 9.6. No, all this hype is just, God, this is really scaring me, the amount of hype that this book has and the Dazzler number one in general, because even if she appears and the book crashes after the movie leaves a movie theater, that's going to leave a very sour taste in a lot of new collectors / speculators that got into the hobby and jumped on this book, that they're going to just leave the hobby altogether. Is that our problem? In a way it is, because whether or not you agree with them being in the hobby and driving up prices, they do represent a certain percentage of the demographic, which you take them away and it affects the balance of everybody else. Good evening, Jason. How you doing, sir? So, by the way, Jason, envious of all the amazing photographs, family photographs that you've been popping up lately. Just really cool. I'm like, oh, you have a wonderful family there, and I love all the updates that you get for that. So this is one of this, and of course Dazzler number one are both books that I just sincerely say to avoid at this time. Next up on the list, I haven't seen this for a little while on the list. It's just nice to see it again. Beneath the Trees, Where Nobody Sees, number one. Let's see what most recent prices we have. 164 for a 9.8. So that's actually come down a little bit. That's not bad. I sent in 3 for pre-screen. Only one came back at 9.8, but I did get one of the 1 in 25s in a 9.8. So I'm just going to take this opportunity. I don't know why I keep forgetting to do that. It's exhausting. I don't doubt it. The 350 for the last sale, but that was back in February. 163 for a near mint. Okay, again, that was just the 1 in 25 virgin variant that I bought on accident. And I did get a 998 on that, so that made me feel good. The good thing is that I only paid $12, I think, for that 1 to 25 because it was, oops. Uh, this book, I believe, was a 5-issue run. I think it's over now. Correct me if I'm wrong, please. But this is absolutely the stuff of option show or something like that. And if this is starting to come down, expect it to come down a little more. I don't think this is ever going to make it to like $70, $80 for 9.8. Don't expect that. But you might see prices of 120, 130. 164 still is not a bad price. It has sold for as much as 240 back in January. Um, I'm still not going to sell mine though because I'm happy I got him. I got him a cover price, so I'm along for the long ride. 9.6 for 51. No, I think there's enough 9.8s out there that 51 is not going to go up. But keep your eye out since this price is starting to drop. You might find yourself a bargain of somebody else saying, "Oh, the price is dropping. Let me just dump mine." And we have a visit from royalty, John's Comics with Kids. Speaking of somebody with an amazing family that I'm envious of. Whoa, welcome to the show, sir. How you doing tonight? Coming in at number 18, we have X-Men number 130, the Luciano Vecchio 2024 facsimile 1 in 25. It's got Dazzler on the cover, and of course, that's supposed to be, representative of Taylor Swift playing Dazzler. Again, everything is Dazzler, Dazzler, Dazzler. We're not going to know anything till June, July, whatever. Anyway, I really thought it would turn into an ongoing series. I thought it was limited to number 5 when it was first out. Oh, come on. Come on, man. I have to support you, man. You're a fellow grown up reading comic books. Man, John's got some of the worst trolls. We all need to get together and go after his trolls. They picked on him for reading comic books. The name of the channel is John's Comic with Kids. If you're tuning into the channel, and you don't like adults reading comics, you're a moron. Sorry. Jeez. Again, anything related to Dazzler, again, whether she appears in the movie or not, I think is a risk to invest in. I think it's only got a downward spiral afterwards, whether she's there or not. How they get away with not announcing her as one of the credits in the movie ahead of time, I don't know. But I mean, just like in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, nobody knew that John Krasinski was in it till we saw him. Number 16. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Last Ronin, the cover A, which is the giveaway book for our 1,500 subscriber when we reach it, along with the director's cut for you to read, is the first appearance of Haruko Hiroto and Casey Marie Jones. I've read this one, by the way. Great, great story. There are 9.9s and 10s of this book. A 10 just sold for $3,000. With the grading policies of CGC, I can't put any extra emphasis on 10s and 9.9s anymore. 225 for a 9.8 and 144 for Raws. Honestly, I think the best thing you could do on this, because they have announced that there's going to be a live action movie, and I don't think they actually named it The Last Ronin in the press release, but the storyline that it's following, it's The Last Ronin. Okay. Even if it's going forward and it's 100% this book, you're still 2 years away from it, which means you're going to have that downward trend before the rumors start picking up again. The trailer announcements is on the horizon. Wait for the book to drop down a little bit in price. Wait for CGC to get some more 9.9s and 10s out there, which will drop the price down to 9.8s. And then you can add one really easily to your collection. Video game 2, yes. Come on, if there's a way of making money on Turtles, they're going to do it. Number 16 here, we've got New Mutants, number 87. Again, if you're not watching X-Men 97 yet, there will be spoilers due to what's going on in the show. I apologize if you're trying to wait till whenever to watch the episodes and you don't want spoilers. This isn't the show for you to be watching right now. So I can try to do is like raise my hand, and while I'm talking to it, you could mute and then unmute when I put my hand back down. Okay, so here we go. Spoilers. We've got Cable that came back in episode 5. We know that he's going to be coming back in other episodes. Episode 5, 6, 7 continue to be amazing writing in this. I think that we are going to see more spikes for more characters in this as we go. Everybody is X-Men crazy. I've got t-shirts on the way that I ordered from something else. I missed out on the book, but I have the Funko Pop. I hope it goes up in value. I assume you mean the Ronin and not the Cable. And Dagger Cards, how you doing? Welcome to the Simon says put your hands down. No, I'm not going to ruin spoilers for people. We've got $859 is the highest for a 9.8 back in 2021, but more recently, just yesterday, $575 for a 9.8, a $200 9.6. 200 for the 9.6, I can see. 575 for the 9.8, I can't. This time, 1990 comic books were very big rage. Yes to what I said. And how's it going? I think the 1990, again, everybody was collecting comic books for value. A lot of like what it was in 2021, but they were super highly printed. People were immediately putting them into bags and boards and treating them like they were China, the glass, not the country. And I think that 9.8s are going to be easy to find. I know we're going to see more of him. If you just read the comic books, you know there's the time frame that they're talking about in the comics. And the reappearance of Magneto is just really emphasizing on the Genoshan massacre. So Cable will be there before the finale, which is just in a couple of weeks. Expect this book to have just another little bump and then go back down in between season 1 and 2. That's when you should grab it. Okay. Power Girl number 8, Irvin Rodriguez's 1 in 25 from last week. It's a good cover. I mean, it is a good cover. It almost looks like it's cosplay instead of a drawing. So kudos to that. However, these ratio variants very, very rarely hold value. So we got $68 is the price for the raw. One of the first things you have to take into consideration when you're looking at the ratio variants is how popular is the title? How many stores ordered 25 copies to get the 1 in 25? If they felt like just by buying enough copies to get to the 125, they're going to be stuck with a ton of copies. Remember, stores are overflowed. It's not just the books themselves, it's the space required to store all the inventory. They have to be very frugal with what they're buying in today's market. So if they don't think that they're going to sell at least 15 of the Power Girl number 8s, they're probably not going to bump up the order to 25. So, but some of the larger distributors, they can order 150, 200, 500 copies and get as many of these things as they feel like doing. They throw them in mystery bags and grab bags and stuff like that, and call them a tax write-off, whatever. I only see the one sale. No, we got 35 on the 27th, 68 this is a single sale yesterday. I don't know. I just don't have faith in ratio variants. I'm sorry. I personally I would avoid it. I'm not saying it's going to be a dumpster fire, but as JP's Budget Collecting would say, but I don't think that it's going to be something that will hold value and or go up. Sandman number 25, the first appearance of the Dead Boy Detectives. Okay, we were discussing this during our meetup, and I would have no knowledge of this if it weren't for you guys. So thank you. The Dead Boy Detectives are getting their own book line, correct? If I do remember exactly what you were saying. Plus, they did appear in one scene of one of the episodes of Sandman. Or no, they're not getting their own. They're getting their own show on Netflix. That's what you guys said. So that definitely will pop up. There's a lot of different issues of Sandman, which have first appearance this, first appearance of that. And every one of them spikes when the character appears and then drops back down again. We got to find out when the Dead Boy Detectives are getting their own show. If it's next year then we want to wait 6 months for this before the trailer and before people started talking about it. Highest known value was 2022. A 9.8 went for 550. Now it's selling for 330. And the market strikes again. Expect this price to go up a little bit because that sale price was in March before the announcement. We do have a 9.6 that just sold yesterday for 68. So maybe 330 might actually be a little bit on the high side. This is a DC book, but it's a dark cover. So 9.8 might have been a little bit tougher to get your hands onto. Watched a couple episodes of Dead Boy Detective. It's pretty. Oh, so it is out already. So I don't watch the Netflix shows. I don't even know if I even have Netflix anymore. Do I still pay for that? I don't know. Okay. Is there any reference to the Sandman universe, or it's just they're separate characters on their own show? And also, how many episodes is it going to be? Because if it's currently running, expect this book to drop after season one. And if they announce that there is no season two, this book is really going to drop. Number 13 on the list, we have X-Men Deadly Genesis, first appearance of Vulcan, aka Gabriel Summers, identity unknown and face hidden in the shadows. So this was on last week's list. And it's another one of those books. I'm like, why? Its current trend is already down 6%. $160 was spent for a 9.8 not 8 days ago. $50 for a 9.6. Yes, there was reference to the same as I believe season 1 is 8 episodes. Thank you for that information. Greatly appreciate that, sir. Again, this is during the time era where everything was really heavily printed. 2006. Paper quality wasn't the greatest. I can't see that even if this character becomes something major, its identity is unknown and the face is hidden in the shadows. So it's a character, it's a first appearance, but it's somewhere in the background in the shadows. Okay, so there's little tiny cameos of Mary Jane Watson and a couple issues before her actual first appearance. What do those go for? Issues 298 and 299 are first slight introductions to Eddie Brock / Venom, but how does that compare to 300? I just don't think that even if this character is major, that it's going to hold any kind of real value in comparison to the real first appearance. And I'm not going out and spending $160 on an overprinted X-Men book, hoping that this character turns into something and I have a meaningless appearance in the shadows of somebody. I'm sorry. Just about that book. That's how I feel about it. Jackpot and Black Cat. Arthur Adams 1 in 25. The Arthur Adams 1 in 25 variants strike again. Now let's take a close look at that. Okay, he obviously can only draw one face and just change the makeup and the hair. He did a decent job with the Hulk, but it seems like as far as females, he draws one face. And that's it. Some people like it. I'm not a big fan of it. $66 already for the 1 in 25. Jackpot and Black Cat. No, I think the stores will have ordered enough copies of this that everybody's going to have 1 in 25s. I don't think this is going to hold any kind of value. 66. No, I wouldn't spend ratio on this. I think 15 to 20 is where it's going to be in a few months. Canadian Survivalist, thank you for joining the show. How you doing today, sir? All right, next one up, we've got Cheval Noir, #1 from Dark Horse Comics, August of 1989. I did not peruse this list at all beforehand. I wanted to try to take it just cold this week. And I'm really going to suffer on this one because I don't have a clue. Is this another one of those ones with the artwork? And you can't even zoom in on the book? Is this something? No. Yeah. No, you can't even zoom in on the book. Well, that's horrible. That worked on that one. How about we open the image in a new tab? Hey, it's a white box. Never mind. Okay, I can't zoom in on it to find out if it is. Last week we had. Um, I heard the same about J. Scott Campbell and Ivan Tao. Same face for every character. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. I think that's probably why I like Frism so much. You actually because it can change faces. Last week we were talking about an artist that there was a Amazon uh, special on. Woody was the name of the issue that was on the list. I'm wondering if this is also drawn by that same artist. I can't remember his name. Um, or is this one being optioned? 1989. That almost sounds like something that would be optioned there. Are you able to click on the cover image to enlarge it? I just tried doing that. It's not letting me do it. Not on this particular book. Click, 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 click. Rather than right click. No, I tried originally. See, if you, I don't know if you can see the mouse on it. It's still a cursor. I don't get the finger ability to click on this particular issue. I could see if I can open a new tab and look up Cheval Noir #1. Why not? Right? Ooh, there we go. We have it is a Dave Stevens book. So there's our answer on that one. And we have a 9.4 selling for 249 or being asked 249. So yeah, it is a Stevens book for mature readers. Let's get that a little bit more. Thank you, eBay, for helping me out with this, right? August of 1989. Cover price is $350, $440 in Canada. Very, very muscular legs on that girl. Let's be honest. That's some really serious hip breaking legs. Okay. Not going to have a problem with that legs. Those legs, though. We get rid of, say, 1, 2019, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11. This is number 11, so I have to keep that in mind. The Dave Stevens books all seem to have taken a little bit of a jump. Hello, nurse. I use that phrase on a regular basis. Thank you, Animaniacs. Never does work though, by the way. The way you would hope. 1200 for a 9.8. For a 1989 Dark Horse, I don't know how many were printed. I don't know the paper quality. This might actually be a unicorn that's worth it. But if you see 9.6 for 275, 9.4 for 210, I think it's just because the scarcity of the 9.8s. And all the 9.2s are in the same price range. So a lot of people have submitted them and shot for it, but nobody's hit that bullseye. I would not be spending 128 on a 7.5 though. Near mint raw 273. Even the lower grade one's 149. I wouldn't mind having one. It's a cool looking book, but I don't think I would pull the trigger on a 9.8 for 1200 when I can get a 9.6 for 275. I wouldn't mind that 275 9.6. So anyway, like I said, we are have reached the halfway point, and this is my opportunity to say thank you to all the Patreon members and YouTube members for helping to support the channel as you always do. Just a quick moment to shout out all your names and say thank you. Hey guys, if you have not yet gone to Rob's Fat Sacks of Comics and subscribed and started watching his content, you're seriously missing out on a lot. Plus, the opportunity to jump in and be ready for all the events that are going to be going on later in the year, including a 3-day auction where we raise money for comics curing cancer. Every cent that is raised for comics curing cancer, if you buy a book for $100, all $100 goes to cancer research. Okay, he pays for shipping out of the money that he collects from the channel itself, the monetization and donations and super chats and all that stuff. Pays for the shipping. So when you buy something, especially from the auction, the way they have it worked out last year, I'm sure they're going to do it this year. Let's just say the book goes for $300. You don't send him $300. You go to the Cancer Society and donate $300. They send him the proof of that you made the donation. Then you get the book. So that way you're not even wondering, how do I know he's really turning over the money? Because he is. Because this is our chance to be superheroes ourselves. All right, so let's move back to the countdown. I want to make sure that I talk about that every chance I get because it is such a wonderful thing that he does for not just cancer research, but for the comic community, allowing them to feel like we're making a difference in the world and lives. You know, we always wanted to be superheroes. This is our just kind of our chance a little bit. All right, here we go again. Arthur Adams. Issue number 2 of X-Men Forever. We have the Arthur Adams 1 in 25, Mystique or Snowbird or any other character that he's done with just the only person who does any kind of variation is the inker. I'm sorry. It is exactly the same face, with the exception of like this shadow up here makes her look like Frankenstein stitching. I don't know. Um, I'm just I'm tired of seeing it, and I don't understand why. I think everybody right now is just worried about missing the boat on the next Arthur Adams. That all the Arthur Adams go up in value, which means in the long run, you want to know what that reminds me of? Ultimate Black Panther. When Ultimate Superman shot up, everybody's like, I gotta have Ultimate Black Panther. That one's gonna shoot up too. I don't want to miss it. Now it shot up and then it came right back down. All these Arthur Adams ones will come back down, with the exception of the ones that are truly limited in number. And even those are going to come down because people are just going to get tired of it. $61 for a Raw. But that was on April 8th. Now, the one that just sold yesterday, the near mint, 32. So it's already dropped half its value. That's 5%. It's going to be a lot more than that. Don't just go rushing out and buying a book because you know the book before was expensive. It doesn't work that way. And I wish that now I wish that people would tune into more of these kind of shows and Rob's and ones where people talk about investing before they just go out and start blowing 50, 60, $70 on a book. So you buy a comic book and you get a tax write-off at the same time. I don't know. I mean, I'll be honest. The last couple of years, I have donated the books from um, Team Ohana for the auction, and he basically sends a receipt to be used as a tax write-off. Now, since Greg always sold a lot more stuff than I did, I talk about selling stuff I never do. I really didn't need a tax receipt, so I always just said, "Greg, you keep it. I don't care." I don't know about the purchases. I would assume that you should be able to write it off, but let me ask about that one before I, just blatantly say yes, you get a tax write off. It would make sense if you're making a donation. So it's kind of like if you ever been to the Museum of Natural History in New York City. There is no price for admission. Officially, it's free to go in, but there's a big box there that says suggested donation for admission. $20, and they want you to drop. If there's 4 people, they want all 4 of you to drop $20 in. They can't stop you from walking in, but is that tax deductible? Oh, yes, we do. But I did get a chance to finally meet him on Saturday. I got to surprise him. I drove the 638 miles. I got out of work Friday, came home, took care of a couple of things. At 6 o'clock at night, hopped in the car, just started driving. Got to the point where I was about to black out, pulled into a rest stop, grabbed a couple hours of sleep, and then went to the place where he was going to be doing his first ever craft show. And it was an outdoor show in the rain in temperatures that were 58 degrees. By the way, 2 days later, it was hitting 90 in the same location. So we had I did get a chance to surprise him, hang out with him for the entire day, and then turn around and drive back home again, which I stopped when I got tunnel vision and did another rest stop. Um, it was really cool. All these years that I've been friends with him, doing the channel with him, had never met him in person. I got a chance to meet him, his wife, his parents. He had a pretty dang good day as far as customer traffic and people stopping at his booth and buying things despite the weather. So uh, he did very well for his first show. I've had shows which were horrible by comparison. Um, and I think that he left there with a, I'm going to do this to change, I'm going to add this, and this. I'm going to subtract this, and this. I know this works, this doesn't. And we had a lot of fun. And that's one of the best things about doing a kind of show. So we miss him absolutely, but he's doing good. So uh not doing good though is Arthur Adams' art. So on to that though. I'm sorry, I'm staying away from it. Number 8 on the list, we have Harley Quinn 1 in 50, the Mindy Lee 1 in 50. That's definitely an interesting cover, an interesting take. Um, Space Girl, Technicolor. I don't get it. It's good art, but I just don't honestly how it ties in. It's up a bit here. 1 in 50 is selling 2 days ago for $150. This book came out last week, and hmm, there are sometimes we get new artists, and again, I don't recognize the name Mindy Lee. I saw Greg's post on into Instagram. Yes, he is looking good. He is, and he's feeling good. That's the important thing. So, and I was glad to see him smiling and enjoying what he was doing, who he was doing it with, and just feeling much better about everything in life. So, but yes, we do miss him, especially when it comes to the technical stuff. I'm sure that my fumbling is when you guys miss him the absolute most. I'm not familiar with Mindy Lee. She may be a new artist or an artist that people just really like her art. I can see that her art style definitely is very detailed, very unique. It's like her against the War of the Worlds. Or, I'll be honest, the more I look at this picture, the more I like it. So, did stores order enough copies of Harley Quinn number 39 for everybody to have a 1 in 50? Probably not. This one might be worth it. Sometimes these pop cola and different ratio variants do hold value. And I don't know, for some reason, I just have a feeling about this one. If I was able to get one, 124, 150, 124, 119 today or yesterday rather. So be a little frugal with don't look for the 151. Look for something more like 120. I might have to research that one more. I kind of like it. Call me crazy. 10, 9, 8. We have Something is Killing the Children, number 36. The Stanley Art Germ Lau One Per Store Thank You book. I'm sorry, here's a good book. It's a good cover. Those eyes. Oh my God. I don't care how attached I am to any woman. If I have a woman coming at me with knives like that and eyes like that, I'm running. As my grandfather would say, I would have a clear run, and she'd have to run through a 3 feet of poop. $75 for the one per store. It's the most recent sale though. We got 41.22 yesterday. Something is Killing Children is still very highly printed. The one per stores never seem to hold a lot of value, but if I could get one for $22, I would pull the trigger on that. One per stores usually come out to equal like a 1 in 25 variant. So to pay ratio ish $25 for that book, I would do that. I love the really cool independent ratio, the really cool ratio covers. Usually the as far as Something's Killing Children, only the what do you call it? Top 15 or so, maybe 12 books or so are the ones that are holding the value right there. I accidentally closed it. But even if they don't hold a lot of value, I would still, if I could get a 9.8 in that for 75, I would do that. I think that's a cool enough looking cover that I would want to add that to my collection. Number 7, first appearance of Mr. Sinister. Hand going up for your spoiler warnings. Sorry. So, Mr. Sinister now is not only um, in the story, but he's also reporting to somebody or a partner to somebody, but he's listening to them or he's following their direction. I can't picture Mr. Sinister following direction for a long period of time, so I'm sure he's using that person. I can't remember the guy's name. It's not Damien. I don't even know. It's from a time period where I was not reading comics, so I do not know this villain whatsoever. Does talk very arrogantly to Mr. Sinister, and believe me, I want this book to go up in value, but after the season is over, this book is going to drop down a bit before um, season 2 comes out. Of course, you sold 929 back in 2021. Now we've got 256 yesterday. What? Really? That's dropped. That has dropped. Yeah, this is the direct sale. Let's see if that's the only sale. 256 has dropped up quite a bit then. We've got tiny numbers. There we go. One more. Thank you. 261, 256, 660. I think that's got to be a newsstand falsely reported. 250, 299. Wow. Yeah, we were hitting 325 a couple weeks ago, 290, 285, 290, 330, 414. But then 260, 274, 256, 300, 300, 250, 256, 261. I don't think this is going to drop much more than 250 price range. It just doesn't make sense for it to. It's been a forever hot book. And God, imagine how much this book would be if he actually appeared on the cover. Oof. Look, I have a 9.8 and I paid I think 400 for it. So again, I didn't pay the 929, but I definitely didn't get it at the right time. It says fair market value for 256. For 339, it's sold for 256. Welcome, sir, Canada. How are you doing? What fam, Rich? Hope you're good. Doing well, thank you. And how are you, sir? It is also a trade dress exclusive of this, or I think you mean these. I'm not sure which one you're referring to, but let me know. Hi to everyone. Kenneth, hey, welcome to the show. How's it going? 250 might be a dang good time to buy this book, especially if we don't know what kind of cliffhanger we're going to get at the end of the season to know what Sinister has going forward. I still think they would be foolish not to use Sinister in a live action when they reboot the X-Men. TCV 07. I have no idea. Okay, so again, if you're able to get one of these and its current selling price is around the 250 mark, which means it's made a big drop down in the last couple of weeks, that's not a bad deal. Wow. All right, so 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Marvel Team Up, number 14 from 2006. Really? Spider-Man meets Invincible. I did not even know that this happened. So we have 9.8 sold for 775 yesterday. 9.6 sold for 750 a couple days before that. Boy, I bet you that guy wishes he had spent the extra $25 to get a higher grade. But a 9.4 sells for 262. Why? Is this just because it's a ghost book to try to find? Uh, very possibly. Highest known value in 2024 for 1,000. I'm going to just quickly look up the sales data on this to see what was it selling, say, a year ago, because this book did come out a while ago, right? Yeah, look at this. 2023, it sold for 239. 2021, the height of the comic book market, 152 and 1,000. Couple, just a few weeks apart from each other. 405, 587, 310. Numbers are all over the place on this. 172, 387, 411, 380. I don't think the value, I don't think people know what the value of this is. More likely, this is a book that you just rarely ever see in a 9.8, and it depends upon how much the two or more people that are been looking for it at that time are trying to get their hands on it. If you have one person that really wants it, it's going to go. Oh, 07 is a salute to the comic vet. I got you. Okay, sorry about that. Something is killing the children. It is a great cover. It is. I think that if you're the only person that is looking for this book, you can get it for a good price. It's a Kirkman book. However, if you got two or three people with deep pockets and they're just like, I'm not waiting another year till it's the next copy I see or the next whatever, then the price is going to go through the roof. I just can't justify spending $1,000 on this kind of on a book. Again, if you got the pockets, the wallet for it, and you want it, go right ahead. Me, $1,000 puts so many other comic books into my collection I would rather have. I would just not be interested in this. I'm sorry. One, two, three, four. Number five. We're in the top five here. X-Men number 53. First full appearance of Onslaught. Was Onslaught? No, Onslaught is not in the series, but I think Onslaught's being brought back in the comic. There's too many comics to try to read. John, help me with this. You know this stuff. So we have a 9.8 selling in 2021 for $400, but right now the most recent 9.8 just sold for $99. And $60 for a 9.8. Now again, these are within the last 2 days. So $100 for a 9.8 from a 1996 book, that might not be such a terrible price to spend on it if the character goes somewhere. If it doesn't, still first appearance for $100 in a 9.8 graded, it's not terrible. This might be worth it, but once it hits the hot list, usually I get another little bump in the price. So right now you're not going to find them probably for less than 120, 130. First Onslaught is a dollar bin book. Yeah, I see the raw books are selling 15, 14, very fine for 4. So right now, I think he's back in the comics for some reason. I think I heard that. I think that even that this is back in the comics, once the hype is over, it comes back down. But again, a 9.8, if you can get it for under 100, I'm not running out to the store to buy it myself. But at least your risk, how much money you're risking out of your wallet is not as terrible as some of the other ones on the list. I think I'd still pass on it though. Good cover though. I do like that cover. Moving up to number 4, and I closed that one too like an idiot. Moving up to number 4, we have issue number 333, first full appearance of Bastion. That's the guy's name. I can't remember. Okay. This is the guy that I believe Mr. Sinister is reporting to, teamed up with, whatever you want to say. This is direct edition. This is all hype right now. Current trend is 27% down. Jeez. 9.8 selling for 145 on the 18th. Raw is selling for 32. I think that current trend down 26% is, I don't know what the heck that's referring to, but I don't know how important this character is going to be moving forward. It's a shame it's got Gambit on the cover, but Boy, I really don't like the way they drew that at all. Yuck. This is a book that's all about hype for the show, and it wasn't really high value beforehand, and I don't think it will be after. So I think I would try to avoid this one like the plague. Number three on the list, we have New X-Men, first appearance of number 114, first appearance of Cassandra Nova, confirmed and seen and heard in the new trailer for Deadpool Wolverine. Her headquarters, by the way, is sick. We got 165 now for a first appearance at a 9.8, and a Near Mint Raw just sold for 185. Okay, who spent $185 on a Near Mint Raw, and then 3 days later you could have bought the 9.8 graded one for $20 less? That was just foolish. I'm sorry. That was somebody really worried about FOMO or hoping to get a 9.9. I don't know. Jeez. Um, there's too many characters, and I'm not going to say female characters. There's too many characters, especially bad guys, that the price shoots up like crazy. The movie comes out, and even if the character is good, when the movie is over, usually the bad guy's dead, and the value drops. So I don't see the formula that that presents being any different than this. I think if you wanted a first appearance of Cassandra Nova to spec on before the movie, you've missed your window. Move on. If you really want this book, wait for the movie to have been already in the movie theaters for 2 months, and this book will be dropping in price. I mean, that's what I did with my High Evolutionary. I waited till after the Guardians 3 was done, and I got myself a decent copy for much less. And did I like the villain, the way they portrayed him? No. I think the actor did an excellent job with the script he was given. Oh yeah, that actor, he was amazing in it. I just didn't like what was written for him, how he was done. All right, so yeah, this is the wrong time to buy it. Let's see what happens with the character. I think she's dead by the end of the movie, or at least in a position that is not going to affect the MCU, and the price on this will drop. Number two, Mr. No Feed himself, Rob Liefeld's first appearance of Deadpool. Ryan Reynolds will kick my butt. Deadpool, the regular edition, not the newsstand, and we have prices going for $13.82 for a 9.8, 500 for a 9.6. Well, let me tell you, if you got this book at a 9.8, sell, sell, sell. This is the last movie I think that Ryan Reynolds is contractually connected to. So I don't think there's going to be a Deadpool 4. But then again, money talks, and he does enjoy doing the character. So if they continue allowing him the creativity, the creative license, that's what I'm trying to say, that he wants, I think he'll continue doing it. I think this is Hugh Jackman's swan song as he just wanted to do a movie with his friend. But I wouldn't mind seeing Deadpool in the regular MCU, in his own movie, in the MCU movies, besides his own standalone stuff, as long as they still give him the license to do Deadpool the way it should be done. Just because I don't like the character in the comic book of Deadpool does not mean I can't appreciate his talent and what he does. So that being said, though, 1382, it's a great book. I would love to have one. I'm not spending that kind of money. I'll wait until August and that book drops back down. So I already should start dropping back down, because lately it seems that after the trailers, the books start to drop off. And just like we started, we're going to end with Dazzler. Gave Larry all the chance in the world to show up. He didn't. This is his list. Hopefully he catches this on the replay. Dazzler, number one, the book that was not available in newsstand, only to direct edition. And if you were collecting comics at that time, you remember that every store had about 475,000 copies. They were all bagged and boarded right out of the box. High grade copies is not hard to find. 174 for a 9.8. It's up a couple of bucks as from the fair market value. Still way down from the January 335, $80 for a 9.6. I think I have yeah, I do. I have an 8.0. That way I could I could at least have a token when to pick up and say, yeah, I got one. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not on the Taylor Swift bandwagon. I'm not a fan of the speculation that goes on with this, that I think that whether she's in it or not, I don't see this book having an investable future. If you really want the book, please just wait for the movie to be over with. All right. So that being said, now I got two choices to make now. Those of you guys that are familiar with the show. One is my gun to the head pick, and the other one is the rubber band to the butt. The gun to the head pick is at current prices. Which book, what if I had to buy one, would I buy? And specifically, is it a raw? Is it a graded book? If it is a graded book, I allow myself the option on really expensive books to take a lower grade. Shop, how's it going, sir? Welcome to the show. You're here for just in time for the gun to the head picks and rubber bands to the butt. Um, so again, if it's like, let's just say I picked Daredevil, I'm sorry, Daredevil, oh, goodness, Deadpool, first appearance, and I say, look, I don't want to spend that kind of money, but I would buy an 8.0. I think that's an unpriced one. Fine. But on a brand new book, I'm not going to say, yeah, I'm going to spend the 25 cents and buy the 2.0. That's just a cop out. Which book would I take and at which grade for my gun to the head pick? This one's a little on the tough side this week because I don't see anything that I think I would avoid the 9/8, but I would go with Cheval Noir, and I would be shooting for one of those 9/6s for 275 or 9/4 for 210. I just, yeah, probably I think the 9/4 for 210. I get a really nice book for that that just presents well, and I think that's a cool cover, that a cool Stevens cover that I'd like to have. Again, I wouldn't go for that 9/8. That's just the unicorn that people overpay for. The rubber band to the butt, the one that I think is the worst investment on this list. There's a couple on here. That one or that one. I'm going to go with this one because it's a higher price, and I think there's going to be a heck of a lot more of them. Moving to number 12 on the list, we've got Jackpot and Black Cat, Arthur Adams. Most recent sale here is $60. Highest note is 66. I am not spending $60 on a book that is the same art, just a different colorist. And I think that there's going to be a ton of these things because stores are buying a lot of copies because they're selling these. So I just got a feeling there's going to be way too many of these out there and not worth it. Those are my two picks. So if you agree, disagree, or have your own picks you'd like to mention, by all means, please pop them in the chat, whether it's right now during the live stream or during the replay. We'd love to hear from you. And while you're at it, please consider subscribing to the channel. Consider clicking like on this video. And again, drop those comments because we want to know what you are interested in, what books you think are great, which ones you think are garbage, and what things you'd like to see here on the channel. If you'd like to help support the channel, really would like to join us either on Patreon, Patreon at slash Team Ohana, or right here on YouTube. You can join as a member. Both of them are only $3 a month for bonus content and videos that come out earlier on the YouTube side. We have our monthly meetups, which the next meetup it will be in May, and we're going to be starting. Everybody that shows up for the meetup is going to get to pick a comic book out of a box and build a little collection that I'm going to mail off to you guys as a way of, again, just saying another thank you for helping to support the channel. And this is something that Greg used to do all the time. And it was a very nice gesture. And Stinkerbuns pointed out that all the books that I don't give away from the new comic book day, the ones that aren't picked, I should put them in this box. and allow people to just get them, you know? So, A, I do like that idea, but B, I have to start the box a little bit bigger than just what I have recently. So I'm gonna have to throw some more books in there. Some of them might be even ones that Rob's Fast Sacks might say, hey, it's a good book. All right, so I want to say thank you again for joining. Really do appreciate everybody here. Like, subscribe, click on those notifications, and drop comments as much as you'd like, because I love hearing from you. And until I see you, though, in the next video, mahalo.